What's up YouTube, and welcome to the Pokemon Hideout. I'm so excited to be bringing you my very first YouTube video today. And I want to talk about one of the most popular Pokemon card topics right now, which is investing. And I think that applies though to more than just investing. I think it applies to dealing, flipping, just the money market of Pokemon in general. But before I get into the video, I want to give a quick background about me. I was a hardcore Pokemon card collector back in the 90s, 2000s when it first came out. I took a break like most people did come, junior high, high school, and then recently got back in a few years later, like many others. So the last few years, I've loved getting back into it. I've learned so much. I've loved being plugged into this community. And so I'm super excited to do this video here and hopefully continue to connect and hopefully give something of value to the Pokemon community. So today I want to talk about just a few things that I've learned that have really helped me when it's come to making Pokemon card purchases, thinking about investing, thinking about making money, and yeah, so let's just jump into it. The first point I want to make is realize that the Pokemon card market is always changing. And so what I mean is the way of purchasing Pokemon cards to make money now would not have worked 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, that probably wouldn't have worked the 2 years before that. Now, when I say this, I'm talking about modern Pokemon cards specifically, because that seems to be what a lot of people are wanting to buy at this time. If you're talking about vintage, they've, 4 years ago, it's worth more than it is today. 2 years ago is worth more than it is today. So this is just talking about the current Pokemon card market and the modern card market. So in 2016, right, when a lot of people got back into Pokemon cards, Evolution came out, the Pokemon Go craze, the markets were saturated. Pokemon printed this and printed these sets into oblivion. And so it was very hard to buy boxes of, sets that came out in the late XY, early Sun and Moon era and hope that they would go up in price. Now, what's interesting is you could open packs, you could buy a booster box, open a lot of those packs, especially in sets like Sun and Moon Base, Guardians Rising, sell the cards from those sets and actually make money. But as far as investing, it just wasn't a very good idea at that point because there was just so much product and the price of booster boxes started to actually go beneath the retail value of them. So if the retail value is just say on average 90 bucks on eBay when it first comes out, boxes, you could get a box for 85, 80, sometimes even less than that, especially if you got a coupon code. So that's a very different market than it is today, where today a lot of boxes are going up. Burning Shadows, Team Up, Unbroken Bonds, even some of the lesser popular ones, Celestial Storm, Unified Minds, Forbidden Lights. I mean, they're all kind of going up compared to 4 years ago where that wasn't the case. Even 2 years ago, and that's when things started to change, is about 2 years ago. So Pokemon had been printing and printing and printing, and then Crimson Invasion comes out, and that's a disaster, right? So Crimson Invasion came out, and it wasn't a very popular set, but because all this stuff was printed, they couldn't sell it, and the price of these boxes just tanked. I mean, there's a time where you could get Crimson Invasion booster boxes for like $60 a box, $65 a box, which is so far below retail value, it's crazy. So to kind of swing back around to my original point, the landscape of the Pokemon card market is constantly changing. So if you're looking to make money in this market or you're looking to invest, you need to be aware. You need to stay on top of the market trends. You need to think ahead of what a potential set could be doing. You need to think, what the Pokemon card company might be doing and kind of adjust as it goes. You can't really just buy something and then just forget about it and hope that it just goes up. That what might work if you're thinking 20, 25, maybe 10, 20-year investments, but if you're looking to make money in the next 2, 3, 5 years, like, you really need to stay on top of the market. So the second point I have is make sure to check yourself and your motives for choosing Pokemon investments. And what I mean is, do your research. Make sure you're doing your homework, and make sure you're making informed decisions, and make sure you're not just buying into hype. Make sure you're not just listening to, what some random person on social media tells you to buy. Make sure you're getting credible sources for, what you're choosing to buy and invest in and hoping to make money in. Obviously, sources like eBay are good. You can look at eBay sold listings. I like to look at other YouTubers that have a good track record, that have been in this industry a long time. But again, make sure that at the end of the day, it's your own decisions, and you're making these choices because you've done research. You find something, or some reason why you think these boxes or the packs or the cards are going to go up before you make that purchase. And ask yourself questions like, why is this going to go up? What's going to cause it to go up? How long is it going to take for it to go up? When do I plan on selling? Create a game plan for yourself before you just go in and start buying things. The third point I have is check your resources. Check the people that you listen to. Make sure you're getting credible information from credible sources. There's a lot of people out there trying to sell you product. And surprise, surprise, the product that they say is a great investment also happens to be the product they're pushing. Now, that seems like sort of a conflict of interest, but some people are listening to that. So just make sure that the sources that you're listening to are unbiased, or as unbiased as possible. Make sure that it aligns with your own research and your own homework and your own goals and your own reasons for why you think it's going to go up, and that you're not just listening to people because they sound smart, or because they make this claim that they're this expert. Make sure you're really checking your sources for that. The fourth point I want to make is that people are fickle. And people's behavior, like the Pokemon market, is constantly changing. And actually, that's a big reason why the Pokemon card market is changing, is because people's buying patterns, people's interests, what people like is constantly changing as well. So, for example, 7 years ago, I was not buying anything Pokemon. I remember briefly thinking, oh, that'd be interesting to buy some Pokemon stuff, but I wasn't engaged in the hobby. I didn't really even care at that point. I didn't even know that Pokemon was still really even popular. Contrast that to four or 5 years ago, where I started to realize it, and all of a sudden, I wanted in, and I became obsessed. And that's kind of how human behavior works. Is it one day, it's completely different from the day before, or it's completely different. It's going to be completely different a month ago or a year ago than what it is today. And so, make sure you're paying attention to what people are buying, what people are selling, what people are hyping up, what people, say is a bad set, is a good set, because all of these are going to influence the market factors and ultimately influence, the investability of products. Really, ultimately, if you want to make money in Pokemon, it's a game of people and human behavior, because at the end of the day, it's just cardboard. It's cool cardboard, it looks awesome, but it's just useless cardboard that has no real functional use on a daily basis. But because people, have strong emotions with it, because people have demand and really want it, that's what creates, market moves. And so, make sure that you're paying attention to that. And a lot of the people, one note of caution, a lot of the people that have gotten back in recently, because it's been hyped up, the market's red hot, so of course people want to get in on it. If they're just here to make money, if the market starts to stabilize or even dips, a lot of those people might not even be here anymore. So be aware that this market could change drastically. It's had huge rises, especially this last year, but steady rises particularly the vintage stuff. But overall, the market's been going up. So make sure that you're aware that there's a risk involved with that, and that if this market becomes less popular, or if people start to lose demand for things, or lose interest, or get bored, or want to move to sports cards or something, it could affect the market. So that's just one thing to keep note of. My last point here is, kind of more of speculation, and just a note of caution. Everything I say is just my opinion. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not saying everything's gonna always go up or go down. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. But my last point, which I think is really interesting, is that almost everything that skyrockets at one point was undervalued. And I'll give you some examples. Base set was an interesting example. How when it first came out, it was super hot, and then it started to lose its popularity, and it became basically discount. I mean, you could buy booster packs for $1 a piece, like in those early 2000 years, after Pokemon had kind of lost its popularity. And then now look at it. Packs are $250, $300 a piece. Flashfire. Now, Flashfire was always sort of popular because it had that Charizard. So for the black and white sets, yeah, it was going to be more expensive than the other ones. But you're talking a set that was 6, 7 years old that was hovering around $400, $300, $400, $500 for a long time. Gradual increases, and then it just went up like 4 times what the price was, in the last several months here. And then Hidden Fates was stagnant for a short period of time, but there was a while where it was just kind of selling at retail. Even in around the holiday season of last year, you could get tins for $10 a piece. Burning Shadows was pretty stagnant for several years. And again, with this most recent modern product, a lot of it has to do with the saturation of the market. Shining Legends was stagnant for a long time. So all of these products, before they kind of took off, had a period of not really moving, and that's just kind of how this market works. So I'll give you a practical example, from something that I purchased. I bought an X and Y base set booster box less than a year ago for $133. And actually I have it right here, and now this thing is selling for over $500. Now that's a crazy increase in price. And I really like this example because something like Burning Shadows, Unbroken Bonds, Hidden Fates, Flashfire, you can look at it and say, well, of course it's going to boom. There's a Charizard in the set, right? There's no Charizard in X and Y base set. There's no real great chase card that everyone's after. There's no one of one, there's no shining cards in there. There's not, the gold star. There's no big chase card in the set. And yet, it had this huge increase. And I think that's really interesting. I mean, same thing if you look at black and white base set. Now that's got a little bit more of a chase cards in it, but same kind of concept where it's a set that's a solid set, but it's not what you think of as the prime set, like a set with a big secret rare Charizard, or with a bunch of shinings or gold stars, or really hard to grade, rare first edition cards. It's just a good set that is aged and has boomed in price. And so my whole point is, when you're looking for sets to invest in, obviously you're going to look for the big hitter sets, the ones with the secret rare Charizards. But don't overlook the value sets that are good sets, were very popular, but just might kind of surprise you and jump in price. So those are my 5 major points. I think when you look for investing or for sets in Pokemon, my approach is different than a lot of people's. A lot of people are going to say, find the set with the Charizard or the Hyper Rare or the chase card and try to get that set. It's going to appreciate. And I don't disagree with that, but I would lean more towards looking for value sets. And I think there's a little bit less risk in that because you can buy these value sets for closer to market price, retail price, of when they first came out. So if they don't shoot up in price, you haven't lost as much either. You know, speculating $133 on a booster box is significantly less than speculating $450, $500 on a booster box like you would have with Flashfire. So that's all I have for, you know, 5 points of looking at investing. I can certainly make a video where I go into more specifics, like specific sets that I think are undervalued, specific sets that I think might make good investments. But I wanted to start this channel with this topic because I know it's really popular. This is what a lot of people want to see nowadays. I have other ideas for this channel. I'd really like to go into like some more of the unknown like facts about Pokemon that might help you as a collector or an investor. For example, I have an idea to make a video about tins and what to look for with those. I've got, you know, just other ideas for what might help the Pokemon card community. So let me know what you guys want to see. You know, I'm happy to tailor this channel to what people that hopefully are watching want to see. But other than that, thanks so much for watching. I look forward to engaging with you all in the future, and have a great night.